So Microsoft tweeted out right at the end of December, something is coming in 2020, well, at the stroke of midnight, and obviously everyone took that as a shadow drop, including myself, but it actually just turned out to be, I mean, if you looked at the tweet more closely, and I was pretty drunk at the time, it pretty much said 2025, and that's what's going to be dropping at the stroke of midnight. Many people got it. I was a bit intoxicated, so I didn't get it, but hey, it is what it is. I'll take the L and move on with that one. But January is still bringing a whole host of games that is going to at least entertain you until February. There is 5 games in particular right now that is dropping, with potentiality for more to come in January. February is looking a bit light, but at least January right now is looking pretty full if you are going to play these games. But first, as always, let's have the drop. So first up, on January the 2nd, right now as you're watching this video, Carion should be available on Game Pass. This is a kind of Metroidvania game, but in a very weird twist. You're not the good guy, you're a kind of xenomorph that's basically what they're calling a reverse horror. You are going around and basically terrorizing everything and basically just wiping out every scientist that's available in there. It's a game by Devolver Digital, if I'm not mistaken, and this was something that I actually saw quite some time ago when I playtested it at the Xbox Expo in 2019, I believe it was, or was it 2020? It could have been 2020. I think it was XO19 here in London. I was really impressed with what I played back then, and then it kind of just fell off my radar. I don't know why. It never was something that I kind of followed through with, but it's now going to be on Game Pass and definitely something that I'm going to give a try. It is a pixel art game. It looks really nice, and definitely one you probably want to keep your eye on, or at least give a try. You never know, these indie games do kind of spring out and surprise you every so often. But to me, Carrion impressed me at EXO. I'm sure it's going to impress me now. With the host of games that you've got playing, maybe you can fit it in. At least give it a try. It's Game Pass, available now. Go check it out. Unless you're watching this as a member, then it may be available tomorrow for you. Okay, next game on the road is, of course, and touching that on the nose right there, Road 96. Now, for those of you that don't know, this is a game set in mid to late 1996 with the fictional nation of Petria, an authoritarian country ruled by a dictatorship undergoing a potentially transformative election season. Now, Road 96 is an adventure video game played from a first-person perspective, it says. The game's campaign has the player assume the role of several teenage hikers attempting to flee the authoritarian nation of Petria without being arrested or killed. Each time the player's character succeeds or fails at crossing the border, they assume control of a new teenager attempting to cross the border. Each crossing attempt advances the overarching story arc of the campaign, culminating in a finale set on a September 9th, Petria's election day. Decisions made by the player during previous attempts are reflected and referenced during each new attempt. Pretty cool, definitely something you might want to check out. This actually has piqued my interest. I watched the trailer and definitely something that I personally have a keen interest in trying out. This again was released on consoles on PlayStation and Xbox in 2022. It was available on Switch and Windows in 2021. I honestly didn't really hear about this game. It kind of flew completely out of my radar entirely, but I don't mind these games every now and then, so definitely something that you may want to check out. Of course, Road 96 arrives on January the 6th. And if you are really liking this game, a prequel titled Road 96 Mile Zero was released in 2023, so that should be available on the consoles as well. At least I would hope it is. So on January 28th, you have Eternal Strands. Now this one is a fantasy RPG. It's an action-adventure video game played from a third-person perspective. In the game, the player assumes the control of Bryn, a warrior who is on a quest to search for the secrets of a long-lost civilization known as the Enclave. The player has the ability to manipulate elements and temperature using a magical cloak. Freezing the enemies can slow them down, while burning them costs them health. The player's manipulation of temperature will also alter the game's world. Frequent usage of the fire abilities will cause an area to become arid and may result in fires that can spread rapidly in the game's vegetation. So there's lots of actual dynamics and going on here, world-changing effects, telekinesis powers, you name it. And you know, if you're into these sorts of games, definitely check this one out. This is running on Unreal Engine 5. This is going to be a day one release on January the 28th. One for you to actually get your teeth into and dive in. It looks very interesting, and there's already post-launch updates already lined up for this with Creative Studio 3, the ones behind Final Fantasy 14 and 16. They are helping with post-launch content. You've got as you saw in the trailer, like a big massive beast that you're going to fight. You've got an epic new creature, it says here, new weapons, and of course new armor sets for you to collect. This is a game developed by Yellow Brick Games. Straight on the back of that, on January the 30th, you have Sniper Elite Resistance. Now that doesn't really need me to tell you anything. So everyone that's played Sniper Elite knows exactly what this is. You get your perch, you find your spot, you take those sweet sniper shots, take out your target. This, again, just like Eternal Strands, is a day one release for Xbox Game Pass, which is pretty damn awesome. We're starting off the year pretty awesomely. Sniper Elite is what you would expect from a Sniper Elite game. If you've played the previous ones, you know what to expect when you're coming into this. Resistance is the new chapter in this installment and will continue the game's heritage as it moves forward. Not really much else to say here. If you are a fan of this genre, if you are a fan of this game, you are going to be right home with this game. And of course, it's day one with Game Pass, like I said. So as long as you're subbed to Game Pass Ultimate, you're eating good. Now finally, on January the 31st, we come to Citizen Sleeper 2. In Citizen Sleeper, the player character is a sleeper, a human whose mind has been digitized and has been put into a robot body to be controlled by the S&ARP Corporation. The player's sleeper has escaped indentured servitude on a freighter and has arrived at a space station called the Eye, where they fight for both survival and freedom. The player meets a number of different people who represent different factions and interests. The game features multiple endings depending on the choices of the player. In order to progress the plot, survive and escape the Eye, the player rolls a number of dice each in-game day, where higher numbers generally indicate better outcomes. Now this is an RPG, this is your typical kind of lots of text and movement around. It's more like a strategy RPG kind of game. Definitely, if you are into these sorts of games, then it might be something you want to look at. Now the art style is very simple, very effective. You've got the story on your right pane, the actual gameplay on the left, and as you continue and develop and make your choices, the story continues. You just need to make it out alive. Might be something you're into, might be not, but definitely something that's worth checking out. This is again going to be day one on Game Pass. This has a pretty decent cult following, so if you are looking forward to trying something absolutely different, this may just be up your street. Definitely, check it out and have a look. If none of those are your thing, February also has you covered with games like Monster Hunter Wilds. Avowed is also going to appear. You've got the new Assassin's Creed Shadows as well dropping in February. February is going to be a crazy month. But at least in January, there are now 5 games dropping. Let me know which one has your interest, has piqued your interest in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion, and I will see you in the next one. If you enjoy videos like this, do consider leaving a like, hitting that subscribe, and leaving a comment below letting me know that you want more videos like this, highlighting what games are coming on a monthly basis to Game Pass. As we have that information, then I can make these videos on a monthly basis and provide you with all the games coming with dates, so that way you are ready to go and have all the information you need to enjoy those cool games. Right, that's it folks. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Remain legend.